We've had a huge emergency that I wanted to alert you to. No, we didn't. We did, however, have an interesting event that I did want to alert you to. I recorded 3 Tough Talks interviews in a 2-day span last week, and I wasn't aware until my team alerted me to the fact that my microphone was bad. The old mic that I was using was starting to die. So the audio, my audio, not the guests sound great. I don't. It's a little scratchy at times, especially like the louder I get, the scratchier it is. So the decision was, do we trash these for the sake of, commitment to quality, which of course we are truly committed to, or not? And I've chosen the latter, and I'll tell you why. Because when I interview Tough Talks guests, even if they're repeat guests like David Wood, this was his 3rd Tough Talks interview, I tell them, we have a little conversation, a very, very brief conversation before, like a couple days before we do the interview. I don't want to talk to them a whole lot, just a tiny little bit to hear what might the conversation topic be, and then that's enough. I go do my research. I want it to be truly organic, like infinitely, or as unrehearsed as possible. And it's for that reason, because we can't recreate that kind of organic spontaneity, right? And so it's for that reason that I decided to keep these and to publish them. I mean, our guests are amazing, If you're seeing this video, this is at the beginning of either David Wood's 3rd Tough Talks appearance. He's the first person to ever do that. Dr. Amy Killen or Brian Bogert, right? So I'm going to leave this video and the little script commentary about this on those 3 episodes. But now here's the cool part. You get to multitask. And I am not kidding. This is actually really cool. Because look, this is one of my mantras, right? The problem is the gift, and ain't bad, just is. You get to do some training. The multitask is, A, you get to pick up the wisdom bombs that these badasses are dropping, right? You get to learn from my amazing guests, who I'm so proud to be able to share with you. That's one. And at the same time, you also get to do some true, like legit mental toughness training, because here's what's likely to happen. As you're listening to this, whether this is on the strict podcast audio version, or if you're watching the video, the audio is going to be the same, and you're very likely to have the following experience, which would be something like, oh my God, this sounds horrible. I did it. There's a training up. Let's get some work in right there. Let's get in a couple reps, right? So repeat the mantras, use the mantras. So catch yourself when you're complaining about the crappy quality of my audio. And if you go something like, oh God, it sounds so annoying, which you might say anyway, even if I had perfect audio. And that too is an opportunity, right, for you to catch, own, and replace, right? Catch yourself when you're complaining, right, about the bad audio quality. Own it and say, this isn't frustrating because of the audio quality. It's only frustrating because of the way I'm thinking about it. And then upgrade, and you can upgrade however you damn please. That's the work, right? And that's the beauty of mental toughness. But I'm offering some options, right, of mantras, of replacement interpretations, which say, well, ain't bad, just is, just as bad audio quality. Ain't bad, it's just bad audio quality. Or the problem is the gift, right? It's like the problem, the audio, right, scratchiness, can be a gift. If I'll view it masterfully, which is, here I am, getting stronger. I'm actually getting in mental reps. So that's what I invite you to do. The long version of the problem is the gift, by the way, is this. Every set of circumstances can be leveraged for gain if viewed masterfully. Another way of saying it is you can create excellence out of every, without exception, set of circumstances if you interpret it with mastery. So I invite you to have that practice here, all right? Thank you for participating in this, right, training. And thanks for following, and thanks for your support. And enjoy the episodes.
No, game on. Now what'll happen, because the human mind is like a monkey on crack, what'll happen is you write it down, you've turned everything off, but you haven't turned the mind off. So you might find, as you went to send an email to someone, you saw an email and now you're responding to it. That's fine. You want to catch yourself. This is about awareness. But you wouldn't even know if you hadn't built a time constraint with a very specific goal you'd just be working, you'd be busy. This makes you look at it and you'll be like, oh my God, how did I get, now I'm responding to John Lee Dumas's offer of a free journal and whatever, and I'm putting in my shipping address. David, step away from the shiny object. I'll say it out loud. Step away, sir. So I back off and I get back to what's written down in front of me.
Most of us never learned how to train our brains, which is why most of us needlessly settle, struggle, and worse, suffer. My name is Chris Doris, and I want to make brain training mainstream. This is my series, Tough Talks, Conversations on Mental Toughness. I'm interviewing badasses from all walks of life on what mental toughness means to them and their unique approaches to strengthening their minds. Hey folks, welcome back to Tough Talks, Conversations on Mental Toughness. I am your host, Chris Doris, and if by chance you are not getting my daily doses in your email inbox, daily dose, mental toughness tips in 30 seconds or less, right around 6 a.m. every morning, your local time. And if you're not getting notified of my blog posts that come out on Tuesdays, and if you're not getting notified of these new Tough Talks podcast episodes, then let's change that, shall we? By going to christopherdoris.com/lists, Lists. Name, email, click, problem solved. Today, we have our first ever Tough Talks three-peat appearance. David Wood. I'm going to read you David's bio, but first, David first appeared on Tough Talks in March of 2019, and then actually appeared just a few months later. The first one, we talked about the importance of play. The second episode, the theme of it was taking massive action. And our theme today is overcoming shiny object syndrome, doubling your income and happiness by focusing on less. I'm very excited to hear him elaborate upon that. So, who is this guy? A former consulting actuary for Fortune 100 companies like Sony Music, Chanel, Exxon. David left his cushy Park Avenue job 20 years ago to build the world's largest coaching business. He became number one on Google for life coaching, serving an audience of 150,000 coaches and coaching thousands of hours across 12 countries. Alongside his clients' successes, David is no stranger to overcoming challenges himself, having overcome a full collapse of his paraglider and a fractured spine, witnessing the death of his sister at age 7, severe anxiety and depression. He is the author of Get Paid for Who You Are, with the foreword by Jack Canfield. That's amazing. He was nominated to the exclusive Transformational Leadership Council alongside such thought leaders as Don Miguel Ruiz, whose book is right here, one of his great books, John Gray, and Marianne Williamson, whose book is over there on the shelf. David believes that the tough conversations we avoid are our doorways to confidence, success, and love. They become the defining moments which shape our world. He coaches high-performing entrepreneurs, executives, and teams, and now prison inmates, to create amazing results and deep connection, achieve more by focusing on less. David, you're here somewhere. Let's go find him. And here he is, the man, David Wood. Check this out, man. You have officially, as of this very moment, earned the incredible distinction of being the first human in history to appear 3 times on Tough Talks. Winning. How good is that?
I feel special, and I like feeling special. So,
you are goddamn special, and I thank you for making a third appearance to hang out with me and offer our Tough Talks tribe some more nuggets. You know, our first interview was all about playing. Our first interview was March 26th of 2019. Our second one was only a couple months later, which was May 8th of 2019. I encourage the listeners and viewers to go watch those. They're in the archives, in the Tough Talks page on the website. The second one was on taking massive action, and our subject du jour for go-around number 3 is overcoming shiny object syndrome, doubling your income and happiness by focusing on less. Well, I got to tell you, brother, none of that sounds shitty. Like that all sounds really appealing. I can't think of anybody that doesn't want to double their income. Well, maybe there's people that make so much they don't care, but I think for most of us, we'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I think everyone would be just fine with doubling their happiness. And I'm pretty sure that I'm speaking for just about all of us too, if that involved focusing on less.
Yeah.
Can you teach us, please?
We're chasing the same stuff. A lot of us, right? We want more money because more money is better than less money. And it has me feel more at peace when I know I got a bunch of money in the bank account, a bunch of money's coming in. So we want more money, and we spend most of our lives trying to do that. And unfortunately, we're just not doing it very efficiently. And I'm an efficiency geek. And so the human mind is incredible. And that's one of our problems. It's able to chase every shiny thing. We don't want to miss out. And if you want to challenge this, listeners, just sit quietly with your eyes closed and count your breaths up until, let's say 50, and see how far you get. And, I was being interviewed earlier today, and John Lee Dumas said, I get to 3. I'm like, yeah, I'm about, maybe I get to like 8, maybe now I could get to maybe 20, but then the mind is off. And it's like, wait a minute, 10 minutes just passed. Where did I leave off? I don't even know. It's a bit like that with work. And so if you're making plenty of money and you're happy with all the time off that you have and you got reserves and surplus, don't listen to anything I say. I'm serious. It doesn't matter. Entertain yourself. It's fine to get up and check email. It's fine if you've got 5 different target markets in your business. It's fine if you have 5 different problems you're trying to solve. It's fine if you have 5 different traffic sources you're trying to accomplish. But if you want results, then going a mile wide, and again, I got this from John today, this metaphor of going a mile wide. I'll try.
Easy for you to say.
Let's stick with that. You're going a while wide and a dinch eep.
Man.
Yeah. We want to stop doing that. If we want results, what if you went an inch wide and a mile deep on one thing? What would be possible? And so I just want listeners, I just want you to become aware if you are scattered and if you do have shiny object syndrome. I'm not here to judge you. I have it too. That's why I talk about it.
Who would you say that we are speaking most directly to with this very conversation?
Well, I think humans, let's start with that.
Well, that's good. That's my audience. It's perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Humans, but particularly business owners and entrepreneurs. I think we see it. But even if you don't own a business, see, with a business owner, you're the one that has to generate the income. You're the one that sees all the possibilities. You see all the options, and you don't want to miss out on anything. So we try and do it all. Unfortunately, that increases our stress. It means we don't do anything very well. And at the end of the day, we'll have less money in the bank, and we're spending way more time at work than we need to. But even if you don't own a business, I decided recently I'm going to learn some programming. So I started with Flutter, which is a fairly new platform that will allow you to write apps. But while I'm doing that, I want to write a chatbot. So now I find I'm studying Google Dialogflow and trying to learn how to do that. But if you're going to do that, you need to use another program called Flask. And so I'm like, wait a minute, I got to do that. And then I started working on something else, and we found a free program that kind of did it, and it's written in Python. So now I'm learning Python. Can you see how it's so easy? And even with my hobby, which is programming, I'm very scattered with that. And I've started a number of courses. Now I'm being entertained, so it's fine. And it's not my core business, so it's fine. But if you want results, you're going to have to buckle down. So I've actually decided to focus on Python for now, and I'm doing a little training in that. I'm going to get good at that and get this up and running. Then maybe I'll go back to Flutter and I'll focus on that. But so you don't have to be a business owner to have shiny object syndrome. Just look at what you do around health. How many different diets have you tried, or are you trying at the same time? How many different things for your health have you dabbled in, but not gone deeply? If you're going to do cold showers for 30 days and like go deep in it. If you're going to adjust your nutrition, maybe look right now, I've got a green smoothie packed with nutrients. This thing is celery, some collard greens, some spinach. It's not one of those Java juice things, which is all sugar and just a handful of spinach. No, I've been having a green smoothie almost every day for 2 years now. I'm just saying, pick something and go deep with it because it feels good.
How do you know what to eliminate? Because we're talking about focusing on less. So like less, all right? What doesn't make the cut?
Yeah. Well, let's start at the macro level, because I find my clients get lost at the macro level and at the micro level. So macro, 12 months out, pick 3 goals. Pick 3 things that would have you do the happy dance in your life. Maybe the business is making twice as much. Maybe you have twice as much time off. Maybe it's swimming with dolphins. I don't care. Maybe it's that your partner is so lit up in your relationship, they can't stop telling other people how amazing it is. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe you're more connected with your kids, and you've created a space where your kids can tell you anything without fear of repercussions, or with fear of repercussions, but they're still willing to do it. Right? They'll come up with some goals that will have you do the happy dance. You're also going to have a list of the stuff that you choose not to care about for 12 months, or it's backup.
Oh, that's interesting. That's okay. Let's slow that down.
Yeah.
No, that's a big deal. I love that. Okay. That's a takeaway. Seriously. Okay. Can you repeat? Because I love the way you said it.
Yeah. You choose, here's what I'll care about for 12 months.
Right.
And here's what I will choose not to care about for 12 months.
You're making a list of things that you're going to choose to not care about. And these obviously are probably things that you have cared about before. Can you just, like what?
Yeah. Like in my marketing, I'm really good at alliances. I'm good talking to people. I'm making relationships. And years ago, my whole business was built on cross promotions. I'm choosing not to do that for this year so that I can focus on podcast marketing. That's my main thing. I really want to build that up, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry to do it. It's next. But if I tried to do it now, it's going to conflict with the fact that I'm also I'm testing Facebook ads right now. And I've decided it's too much. So
So Facebook ads is on the do list. Yeah.
It's on it as testing. I'm testing it. And if it does well, okay, I'll make some room for it. If it doesn't do well, and I mean really well, it's getting canned. It's got 3 more weeks left. And
okay, so you put a timestamp on this test.
Yeah, and to be honest, I can't wait. I'm part of me is hoping that it fails because I don't want to be split. I'm already doing so much around podcasting and podcast marketing. It's just, I'm more stressed when I'm trying to get this Facebook ads running as well. And every minute I spend on Facebook ads is another minute less I spend on being awesome at podcasting and being a guest expert on podcasts. This is what I've chosen to go deep in. And I think you may know this. Over the last 2 years, I've done over 160 interviews.
Oh shit, I did not know that. Holy crap.
Yeah, I've gone deep, and there's something peaceful about it, and I get to be excellent. And I'll tell you what too, this new method I've got, which is semi-secret, but I don't mind sharing it with you. It's imagine once I've been on my podcast with you and I know you, we have a relationship, I want to know who's Chris connected to. And so I'm writing a program that will actually be able to tell me the podcasts that you've been on that are a fit for me. And it will be able to tell me the podcast hosts who have been on your show, who have a show that's a fit for me. Now, I wouldn't be able to come up with this idea if I wasn't deep in it, if I wasn't going a mile deep.
Give me some more examples, or at least another example. Or what are some things that business owners, entrepreneurs should really consider giving up, but might be in the belief are critical to their success?
Yep. Great. That's an easy one to answer. Hard one to do.
Try to come up with a hard question. That's tough
What's
to
that?
do with you, bro. It's tough to come up with a hard question with you.
I do get stumped occasionally. We
I'm gonna do
start
my
with,
best.
we
That'll be a
start,
metric for me,
that's a
for
metric.
my success today.
All right.
If I can stump you.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Game on. So the first thing is, and now I've forgotten the question. There you go. Now you
Damn it! The irony. Well, that was easy.
So,
I got shiny object syndrome. That was brilliant. Okay, I will reiterate the query.
okay.
All right, what are some things that you have discovered that entrepreneurs, business owners
Right.
would really have a hard time giving up, right? Putting on the don't pay attention to for this year list because they are in the belief that this shit's critical to my success.
Yeah, sure. Well, one simple example is checking email.
Yeah, man.
You know, just checking it constantly. I had a couple of podcast hosts said we're addicted. Like if we go 20 minutes and we haven't checked it, it's a real thing for us.
Yeah.
I said, well, you could practice some discipline of just, I'm going to go 2 hours without email and I'll really get into work and then I'll check it. Also,
you know, that's a big deal. That's a takeaway for me. There's this bug that is just flying around today. Yeah, that's a good one for me. I'm a total email addict.
Yeah. Also, a lot of the emails that come through, I don't have to see. I'm getting a lot of stuff that can be filtered out into other folders, for example. And then if I need to look for it, I can go and look for the email from, you know, I say I'm subscribed to somebody, right? You follow different people. I don't want all that stuff coming into my inbox every day. So I filter it out in other folders. Also, I remember the time Jack Canfield was talking about just giving his assistant his inbox and said, look, you'll spot if something's personal, send it on to me. But here's the categories of stuff that you probably have to deal with. Come up with a standard operating procedure. Or every time you ask me how to do it, write it into the SOP so that the next person's going to know what to do and you handle. I haven't done that yet, but that might be coming up because I don't like going through. Also, here's the other thing. That email is every email is a shiny object and it's going to pull at you.
Yeah.
It pulls at your attention. And you get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let me know if this sounds familiar. You're a little bit tired, a little bit worn. You've been working a hard day and you're starting to wind down. And then you go and check email. And now you find you're 2 hours into dealing stuff, doing with stuff. And then you like, okay, I'm going to stop for the day. I'll just check my voicemail. Oh my goodness. It's just, we need traffic control. So email is one thing. Another one for entrepreneurs, just look at your target market. Can a caveman grunt it? For me, my target market is entrepreneurs. You're already up and running. You got a great product and you're earning over 200,000 ideally, or you will be very soon. That's my target market. So caveman could grunt that. Help business owners make more money. More time off. That's my message. So you look at your target market. How scattered are you? What if you picked one to hang your hat on for a year? Then within that target market, what's their biggest problem that you are great at solving? Now, it doesn't mean if they come to you and say, can you help me with something else? You might say, yeah, but what's your messaging? What do you say on every podcast? What do you say on your website? What's your marketing material say? Have that message be clear. Then how many solutions do you have for that problem? Oh, well, I have this product that will help you with that. I have this product that will help you with that. And I have this service that will help you with that. What if you picked one solution? to become your flagship product or service, and you pushed that and you had that be excellent and put all your energy into that for a year?
You know, I'm hearing voices. That's a thing for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not new, right?
well, I pretend that I'm channeling my audience. So the voices that I'm hearing right now,
Assume it's normally my voice that you hear.
that's one of them.
Yeah.
But the others, I'm hearing people saying, that's, probably easy for him to say. He's got an established business. He's doing fine. Like some people that aren't doing so great financially, it sounds like this would be a bit of a leap of faith. Right? Because I mean, I don't know, where's the test drive, or where, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you said that. So it would make sense that you're not going to guess. I'm not saying guess. So you're not going to just guess at a target market and guess at a problem that they have and guess at a solution. I'm assuming you'll do a bit of research. You might poll some people and find out their biggest problem, or you poll your customers if you already have them. You might pick up a target market. You might even test 3 of them. Say, look, I'm going to test this for a month. There's a book called Traction. And one thing I really liked about Traction is it solved the question that you're posing, the problem you're posing. How do I know what to focus on? Well, he said, out of all the marketing methods, for example, when you're trying to pick one, pick the 4 that seem the most promising, test them for 2 to 6 weeks, and then pick the one that's the leader and go deep in that. Like, okay, I like that. For me, I spent a year coaching entrepreneurs and executives and leaders of any kind. Now, finally, I realized, David, this is shiny object syndrome. You're straddling this. I tested both. Look, I love that I've got vice presidents at Warner Brothers now on my roster, and I got testimonials from them. That's great. But it wasn't taking off. And I decided, David, you got to pick one to hang your hat on for a year. So entrepreneurs it is. In fact, I rebranded since we spoke last.
Yes, I noticed that.
About action and rebranding. I don't do it lightly. I did it so that I could focus on CEOs of their own business. And that's, look at the brand, look at the name, focus.ceo. You can't get much clearer than that message. And I help you double revenue and your time off. Even that, I slip that in as a secondary benefit. But the main thing, we start with money, because I don't meet many people that don't want more money. We start there, then we go to time off. And then my tertiary benefit, which is my passion, is you being a more extraordinary human. How do you show up in the world with your partner, with your kids, with your family, with your coworkers, with your staff? That's what I really care about. But the messaging, there's no room for multiple messages. People can't. If I threw a ball at you, it said catch, you'd catch it. If I threw 5 at you, you'd drop them all. So I'm fine with testing. I'm testing Facebook right now, but I'm looking forward to that being over so I can go back to one thing.
I coach a lot of business leaders. And I would say that the most popular complaint among them is time. The belief, and it's very convincing, there's just not enough time. Too many demands.
Yep.
So I'm trying to think like one of them right now and be listening to this, right? And be thinking, this guy doesn't get me. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't understand how much I got going on, how many demands there are in this large company leading a ton of people. How would you respond to that?
I'd say work will expand to fill any container you set for it.
That's a really interesting comment. Like water.
So if you had 4 hours a day and the rest you had to be in a hyperbaric chamber for health reasons, out of contact with the world, that 4 hours a day would be filled. If we could wave a wand and give you 48 hours in a day, that time would be filled. You would fill it. You would find busy stuff to do. So you are always going to feel busy and feel like there isn't enough. There's a law, I think I get this right. I think it's Parkinson's law that people have been speaking to me about recently, which talks about deliberately constraining resources.
Deliberately constraining resources. Okay. Why?
When you deliberately constrain a resource, you get more efficient with that resource. So let's suppose you and I sat down today and we're going to do a sprint. We've put time in our calendar, 2-hour blocks, 9 to 11 every morning. We're going to do sprints. This is where we turn off messaging. We can't get pinged by anything. There's a sign on our door. Family knows about it. We're all set to do something. We constrain our resource by giving ourselves only 2 hours. And we set a specific goal. We're not going to just work on the website for 2 hours. 2 hours, I will have a draft website with bio, photos, pain points, and benefits, right? I'll list those 4 things. And then I would constrain it even further. 25-minute sprints. So I got 4 of those now I'm going to do. The first 25-minute sprint, I will draft my bio, complete draft, bad draft, doesn't matter. But I'll have a draft of my bio, 25 minutes, go, timer set. That's going to get done. That shit's going to get done. Might not be a good draft, but it's going to be done. And I know if I don't get it done, I'll be late on my second goal. The second sprint is where I choose the images and I get them up on the web. I got 25 minutes, Chris. Game on.
That's not a lot of time.
No, game on. Now what'll happen? Because the human mind is like a monkey on crack. What'll happen is you write it down, you've turned everything off, but you haven't turned the mind off. So you might find as you went to send an email to someone, you saw an email and now you're responding to it. That's fine. You want to catch yourself. This is about awareness. But you wouldn't even know if you hadn't built a time constraint with a very specific goal. You'd just be working. You'd be busy. This makes you look at it and you'll be like, oh my God, now I'm responding to John Lee Dumas's offer of a free journal and whatever, and I'm putting in my shipping address. David, step away from the shiny object. I'll say it out loud. Step away, sir. So I back off and I get back to what's written down in front of me because
You say it out loud to yourself.
I say it out loud. Step away from the shiny object. One podcast host was calling them monkey treats. If the human mind is like a monkey on track, there's a monkey on crack, there's a monkey treat. And another thing I do sometimes is I'll co-work. I'll have someone on the line with me and we'll set what we're going to do. And in 2 hours, we're going to check in. And I don't want the embarrassment. I've had it multiple times, but you show up a few times and realize, holy crap, I said I'd do this and I got a quarter of it done because I did a bunch of other stuff. Now, maybe some of that other stuff was useful. Maybe it wasn't, but I'm like, David, you can't speak and then have it happen in the world. You cannot do that. It's not happening. So what are you going to do? So I'll change it up the next time. I change it up again. I'm getting better. You build a habit of actually nailing something in a sprint, and then it feels awesome. At the end of 2 hours, you said you do 4 tasks. You got all 4 done. It feels really good. And I want listeners to have that feeling at the end of every day and at the end of every quarter and at the end of every year. I said what I do and I did it.
Do you use any technology or other tools to help organize these decisions that you're making to your priority list and to like timers? Like anybody, what are the objects or devices or resources that help you succeed with all of this?
Yeah, well, I definitely use a timer. So I'm constantly like set timer 25 minutes, set timer 25. Also,
that's, you just say, hey, Siri here or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Set timer 25 minutes. And another advantage of that is if we don't break, say every half hour, I will just sit there for 3 hours because I'm in the zone. And so I'll sit there and I'm not moving my body and my body's getting crunchy. I'm building up tension. And at the end of 3 hours, I'm wondering why I don't enjoy my work and why I don't want to do that task anymore, because I just pushed through. So it's a bit of discipline. 25 minutes, step away from the task, sir. Step away from the task, go and do some chin-ups, a little bit of tug of war with my dog, or I'll make a cup of tea. I'm hungry to get back. That was only 25 minutes. You kidding me? I want to get back into it. That's what we want. We want to keep the mind hungry. So the time is one piece of technology.
You know, that you stole the word a moment ago that I was going to ask you about next, which is discipline. Because I've thought about that maybe 6 times during our conversation today. That this sounds like this takes some discipline. Is that true? Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, that's why I said we start at the macro level. This is what I'll do for 12 months, and here's what I'll choose not to do. That takes discipline right there.
Right.
When we bring it back to set our 8-week goals,
yeah,
discipline. When we bring it back to the weekly goals, this is my next piece of technology. I do use Trello if it's involving someone else. So for a team, someone in another location, Trello is great to manage.
I don't even know what Trello is.
Oh, Trello's it's almost like a Post-it note system that's online.
Really? I live on Post-it notes. I would like to not have these.
Right.
They're all over my life. Seriously.
Yeah. So in my Trello board, it's just columns. One column is a task, Mitko's task list for this week. And it's got little Post-it notes. Under each one is a task for him. He can add comments on it. I can add comments.
Oh, I love that. Okay. That's cool as hell.
Photos. And when it's done, I just drag it into the done column.
Cool.
So
I love that. Really, I'm definitely going to be checking that out.
Yeah. So for example, for a sales process or even pitching a podcast, there's the column where the podcast hasn't been pitched yet. It's just target. Then it moves over to the column when they've been emailed and they're awaiting a phone call. Then they're moved over to they're booking it, and then it'll be moved over to this has been recorded. It's just so easy.
Yeah, that's great.
But for my own system, my favorite thing, I'm going to show you right now. This is my high-tech system. Post-it notes.
Yeah.
4 columns up here. Now you can't read it here, but the first column is the hopper. Those are things that I want to get to, but they're not priorities. That's not where I'm focusing this week. So
for those who are only listening to this, that aren't able to see, what David's doing, he's taking his camera and he's showing, there's a picture on his wall and he's got Post-its in 4 columns. So the first column is what?
The hopper.
The hopper.
You would say the hopper. Yeah, I don't even know what that means, but it's just things that I want to get to, but they're not for this week.
What's the second column?
Is the next 7 days.
Third?
So this is my to-do list, and I've only got 4 things in there. I try and keep that simple and not crowd it. When I've got room, I'll go and add something else. And then the next one is very important. That's the doing column. Doing right now. So if I had a Post-it note for that, it'd say podcast interview with Chris. That's what I'm doing right now. And only one thing's allowed in that column. And while that Post-it note is in that column, I'm not allowed to touch anything else.
Well, where is that column?
You can't see it. That's the empty one.
Oh,
because I didn't write anything for.
Oh, so there's 5 columns.
Well, no. Over on the right is the 4th column, and I had to squeeze 2.
I see. Okay, so what's that one?
The 4th one is simply the win column.
Win.
The win, and that's just what I've done. Once it's gone from doing, or it just magically got done from one of the other columns, I pull it over into the win column and it's handled. I find it so satisfying just picking off the Post-it, boom, boom. And when I look at that doing with the to-do for this week, I don't feel overloaded. It's telling my brain that's what I care about this week. The other stuff, we'll do it another time. Without this, everything's on the to-do list. It's just a massive to-do list, and I
Yeah.
feel a bit stressed. And then also I am trying to do 3 things at the one time and flitting about. This is really simple. This is what we're doing for the next 25 minutes. If I catch myself doing something else, step away.
I love it, man. That's so simple. This is really good. Now, you've already said a couple of things that address this question, but I want to fully unpack it because a huge piece of discipline. One of the things in my life, I'm going to rephrase this, that helps me be disciplined is a shitload of accountability. How do you hold yourself accountable?
Yeah, I love that. If we have a boss, then we have external accountability, and that's really valuable. You might not think it if you have a boss, but it's really valuable. The boss puts constraints on resources. The boss says this is a priority. Often the boss will say, yeah, no, you're not allowed to do that. Or yeah, go and do that. Do this first, do this second. The boss might also put constraint on time. I need this by tomorrow, 4 o'clock. There's a lot of value in that. If you are your own boss, we need to generate our own accountability and our own external constraints.
That's where the question was coming from for me, for the entrepreneurs in the world, right? For the people who are their own bosses.
Exactly. So we need artificial constraints. We have to generate them ourselves. So one way we've already covered, this is what I'll do in 12 months and this is what I won't. Right? That's a constraint. For the next 7 days, this is what I choose to care about. These other things don't make it into this week. Right? That's another constraint. Booking sprints in your calendar and saying, I've got 2 hours to get a specific task done, and then even breaking it down into 25 minutes, that's another constraint. But the accountability piece, one way people get this is they hire a coach. You get a coach and you make a commitment. I have some wonderful entrepreneurs right now in an 8-week program called the Samurai Program, which is designed to double your income. Give you a 20% boost in 8 weeks and then 100% boost over a year. And they what they do for accountability is they write down each week what they will do over the next 7 days. And it's in a group document. We all get to see it.
That's accountable.
And when I get on the live call, we go through it. Now, there's 2 levels of accountability. You can put an A next to it, which makes it an A goal. That means it must be done. If you're in a coma in hospital, you are still on the hook for getting that done. There are no excuses. There is no changing your mind.
Wow.
There is no renegotiating.
That's all in, baby. That's the A for me, stands for all in.
Yeah, all in. That's good. And if you don't put an A next to it, it's a B goal. Hey, maybe you do it, maybe you don't, right? No big deal. Now, if they don't do an A goal, they set a consequence. For each one has their own individual consequence. For me, if I don't complete an A goal, I pay $5 to my ex-girlfriend. That's what I do. Literally.
Stop it.
Not kidding you.
What are you talking about? How the hell you got that set up?
I just send her $5 on PayPal.
You're kidding me.
No, I've got other clients. They pay $5.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Are you guys friends?
We are now.
Because you're paying her.
Yeah, she likes me more now.
Oh, God bless her.
Yeah.
So the first time you sent her $5, was she like, the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Well, it gets better. I've got people who donate $5 to Trump's re-election campaign if they don't do it.
And they don't like Trump?
Yeah, they're against Trump. But one guy said, I can't do it. My wife would kill me. And I said,
then get it done. Then get
the shit done, right?
I love it.
So I have an A goal. There's only really 2 that I have to do each week that are always A goals. One of them is to do my weekly action plan where I set the 7 what I'm going to do. In the next
how interesting. That's a total process goal. That's it. That's neat. It's a goal within the goals.
It has to be.
Yeah, right.
If I don't have that, I will slide on setting the goal.
Now let's repeat that. I love that. So your first A goal is what?
Is to create my weekly goals, and it must be done by 1 o'clock Mountain Time on Friday.
Oh, wow. You know what I love about all this is your super specificity. I love that. When I used to work almost exclusively with competitive golfers, one of the things, in fact, I was working with a golfer yesterday and we talked about this in the pre-shot routine, is one of the first things you do is pick a super specific target. Focus.
And
I love
there
that.
must be a time attached.
Yeah.
If there's a time attached.
Yeah, right.
It's not an action, it's a wish.
Oh, I like that. So by 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday, you've got the next week's action
Goals
all set up.
Yeah, and if it's not done, and there are a couple of times I missed it, I pay the $5 and then I put something else into my system, into my structure, like a reminder or an email or an extra reminder the day before.
Okay, now I'm visualizing you doing this. There are people that would like have a million things though. They're planning next week and they're going to put too much shit.
Yeah.
So is there a metric on that? Do you have a guideline for like how do you?
No, I can't tell you how many to put on, but I think it's a good idea to work out, this is my priority. These are the things I commit to doing. Like, these are my A goals, and there are no excuses on that. And that's hard.
Yeah, that's right.
A game.
Yeah. Well, so how many of those do you have? What is today? Thursday? How many of those did you have for this very week?
I only had 2 A goals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Because I like, sometimes if something's really important, that's an A goal. You are going to get that done. And that, because I know $5 is on the line, it's attention, and I'll actually plan ahead, make sure I don't leave it at the last minute. I'll communicate to people about my deadline. And it's weird. They don't understand. I'm like, I have to have this by Friday at 1 o'clock. In fact, I need it by Thursday at 1 o'clock, because I've made a commitment to my coach and I'm unwilling to break that.
I love that language.
It's artificial.
I love that.
Yeah. And people are surprised, but I'm like,
because I've made a commitment and I am unwilling to break that. That is some powerful ass language right there, bro.
Yep. I'm unwilling to fail. And I've got to call people 3 times. I got to check that it's coming. I really get on top of it, because once you play the A game, you start to realize everywhere things break down. Oh, leaving to the last minute, breakdown. Not communicating with the people ahead of time that I got to get this really early so there's no surprises, breakdown. It's so many didn't set timers, didn't set an alarm, breakdown. Oh my God. I had a client call me and say, I'm sick and I'm not going to make this. I'm not going to make it in time. I said, are you telling me, or are you asking for coaching? That was one of the biggest, most profound insights he'd ever had. He realized he was telling me, and he shifted to, wait, how can I do this? I'm sick. I don't know how to get it done. We brainstormed it. We came up with something. Guy nailed it. So the A game, it's not for everybody, but if you want to see where things break down and where you're so inefficient, so ineffective, the A game and $5 is a really great way to do it.
That's so fun.
So to answer your question, pick the goals that really, really matter, and then the other ones will be bonus. You'll do them if you have time.
Is there anybody else in your world other than your ex-girlfriend and the $5 that help? Or coach it? All right, coach. Getting a coach. That's right.
Generating accountability. You get a coach. You can have a consequence. You can set a reward if something gets done. And the other thing that I really like is having someone else around. So this week, I think 2 or 3 times I've gotten together with a friend, and we say at the top of the hour, what are you going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. What energy do you want to bring to this? Play. All right. I want to bring love or service. Okay. Let's go. 2 hours. We'll reconnect and we'll report. And then we come back in 2 hours. And because I know I've got someone to report to, I'm on fire. I'm nailing stuff. Bang, 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 bang. And then when we get on, I get to show off. I nailed this. It feels really good. And if I went off track, I feel a little embarrassed, and I'm more likely to stay on track next time because I like doing what I say. It feels good to report. But I had so many times where I had to show up and go, oh my God, my mind is like a monkey on crack. I just had no idea that I can't say something and do it. I'm getting better at it.
That's so great, man. All this is so incredibly helpful. So thank you. You rebranded. Okay, so your new website, I'll include all this, of course, in the show notes, is focus.ceo.
Yeah.
And you referenced this a
That's an
little bit earlier.
extension now. You know, that's new. A lot of people say, I didn't know you could have .ceo as an extension. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of .com, it's just focus.ceo.
Well, that's perfect for you, right? So you did reference this a little bit, but I want you to answer this again anyway. So who are the people that, who are your ideal clients and client prospects?
Thank you. I work with business owners. They've got a great product or service. They've got a good reputation already. They're up and running. They've gotten past the 5,000 a month barrier some time ago, and they do want better business results. They want to scale. They want more time off, and they care about who they are as a human. They really care about that. They want their relationship with their kids to be better, with their partner to be better. They want to be taking care of their body. Because you know me, Chris, I'm not just the money guy. You want just money, go to somebody else. You know, if that's really all you want, just go to someone else. There's lots of people who focus on that. I will start with you on that because that pays the bills, covers your coaching fee, so everything else is gravy. But then we get into, I just had a client, life throws you stuff. She got diagnosed with cancer. And so I'm sitting with her and her husband, and we ended the session with, all right, what game are you going to play now? Now that you're given this, how are you going to show up in the world? And she was inspired. And she just wrote to me recently and said, this was the best thing that ever happened to me. So people come to me for the business stuff, but I think they come because they know we're not going to leave it at that. We're going to deal with the whole person, and we might go into tough conversations. We might go into nutrition. Who knows what we're going to do? I want your life to be great, and working on the businesses is just a fun start.
Beautiful. Focus.ceo. And where are you most active on social media?
Facebook. I'm pretty active on Facebook, also Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm hiring now. I'm hiring a new social media person. So I hope ideally in the next month we'll start putting out all the
cool.
content.
Oh, right on. Good.
Like possibly clips from this. You know, we put it out, link back to your show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my team will help you with that. They will put some clips of this together. We'll talk about that later.
Cool.
So yeah, and I'll put all your social media links in the show notes as well. David Wood, we have concluded the first ever three-peat on Tough Talk.
That's right. And I have a gift basket for listeners. Can I tell them what's in the gift basket?
Oh, hell to the yes on that.
Yeah. So we talked about some of the important steps today with the goal setting and how to not follow every shiny monkey treat. But there's a checklist which will have what we covered today and 5 steps we didn't get to cover. I have also got a training on how to double your revenue and your time off over 12 months. It was 2 hours, but who's got time for that? I boiled it down into 35 minutes, just the highlights of the training. And I'm happy to give listeners access to that. Plus, if you think you might be a fit for my 8-week samurai program, there'll be a link where you can apply and see if you're a fit. And if you're not, I'll tell you very politely and point you in the right direction. And if you are, we're going to have a lot of fun. So you can do all that at myfocusgift.com. It's just a shortcut to get to the right page on my website, myfocusgift.com.
myfocusgift.com. That is
I wanted the most memorable, URL I could come up with. So My Focus Gift.
I love it. That's very generous of you. And thank you, brother. It's been awesome. Again.
You're welcome. And it's really good to see you again, Chris, man. I was looking forward to this today.
Right on. All right.
You did not disappoint.
You. You.
You.
You. No. Hey.
You.
Hey. Hey.
You got a gift, my friend.
You. You.
No, you. You do.
That's pretty good. All right, buddy. Later. He's one of those dudes that knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. How did I not know what Trello was? That's cool. Well, another awesome interview with David Wood. I hope you got some goodies out of that. If you didn't, then go here, because I'm checking it out on my other monitor over here. The gift that he offered, this is pretty great. I didn't know about this till I'm so glad he said it at the very end. myfocusgift.com. So go there, and he's got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of free stuff. This is legit. So check it out, myfocusgift.com. All right, folks, thank you so much for checking in for another episode of Tough Talks. See you next time. Till then, create miracles.